Guys, today we've got yet another Jordan being added to the Reimagined list. The upcoming Travis Scott Jordan 1s are already gone, and Adidas is selling millions of pairs of Yeezys for $95. Welcome to Sneaky Sundays. This week, a lot of drama. Let's kick it off with a quick release recap, starting with the Skepta Puma collaboration. These things dropped, I believe it was just EU, UK, and they flew. Futura Nike SB Dunk Low has kind of released. The Nike Sneakers app release is actually happening on the 22nd of May. However, a bunch of skate shops have already dropped them, or the raffles have ended. Let me know if you picked these things up already, because if you did, big W. And I guess while we're talking about the Futura dunks, this was a post that I thought was pretty interesting. It's a little stock comparison just to show how lucky you were to get these things. So we've got some of the most hyped up dunks and their stock levels, and we're going to compare them all. So there was 20,000 pairs for the N7 Nike SB Dunk Low. 30,000 is the number for the Futura dunks. Born and Raised, another 30,000 pairs. The Blossom colorway of the Powerpuff collaboration, that one had 35,000. The Dodgers SB Dunks, 35,000 as well. Jarritos had 40,000. Crenshaw Skate Club, 40,000 as well. Neckface, 40,000. So yeah, it's on like the mid to lower end for the Futuras. But that doesn't account for all of the shenanigans, which we will talk about in a minute. But the one big update I wanted to let you guys know is a quick little peek at the upcoming release calendar for the Nike Sneakers app. So I'm on the UK Nike Sneakers app, so we have a couple things that are different for you guys out in the US or other regions. 22nd of May is going to have the J Balvin Jordan 3s along with the Nike Futura dunks, both at the same time, which is pretty crazy. But the one I wanted to really show you guys was the Oxidised Green Air Jordan 4, because there's a huge disparity in terms of the release date for the EU, the UK versus the US. So here in the UK, we're getting these things on the 25th of May. However, for you guys out in the US, you're only going to be getting these things on July the 13th, which the release kind of seemed to come out of nowhere. So I'd love to know your guys' opinion. What do you think of these? Do you like them, or is it a pass? They've got a lot in common with the metallic green Jordan 4s. Like, you can see this shimmery effect that they've placed on this, so it's not really metallic, but it also kind of is. I'll pick up a pair when they do release, and you guys can see them before they drop in the US. We've already got some detailed looks at an upcoming pair of dunks. This is the Nike SB Dunk Low Parachute Beige, and these are set for a spring 2025 release. Now, honestly, there is really nothing that special about this pair. Like, I saw them, I was like, yeah, man, it just, you know, it kind of falls in line with a bunch of other random colorways that Nike's putting out. But I mean, it's not a bad colorway. It is an SB, so it's got the fat tongue and the nice puffy sock liner. It's just all over suede in this beige color, and it has a gum outsole. So we already have looks at these things. I think this is a sample pair, but this should be what drops early next year. We got some actual images of the Air Jordan 3 Cement Gray, which is going to be dropping August 2024. These things are looking nice, kind of like, you know, the white cements, but just darker and more gray. You've got the Jumpman on the back. You've got a gray, red, and black outsole, and just basically the elephant print is just a lot darker on these things. Sock liner is also almost black. It's like an anthracite colorway. If you have the white cements, or if you prefer the white cements, I don't know if you're going to want to buy these things. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments, but again, these are set for an August 31st release date. Alright, this next one I just had to show you because it's freaking crazy. This is the Air Jordan 1, that's right. It's called the Brooklyn Global Purple. It's basically just shoes that like Lil Uzi would wear. They're like combat boots. I mean, they do kind of remind me of something like that Doc Martin would have made. But the interesting thing is like all the weird things that you get on here. It's very like emo goth. It's got like this, you know, spray painted strap in purple. It's got like a bunch of septum piercings all around it. Like, look at all of the rings that you get attached to this pair of shoes. It's crazy. Now they come in two heights. They've got like a mid, or like I guess it's still a high top, and then you've got like the high tops, the kneecap slappers. Got a pretty cool box, not gonna lie. This just seems so wild, so random for Jordan brand to be making. Like, why are you stepping into this space? Nevertheless, these should be dropping at some point this fall time, so there's that. Let me know what name you would give these down in the comment section. I'm gonna have a read through, because I'm sure you guys can come up with something fun. Couple big Jordan updates. First one is that the Air Jordan 5 Black Metallic is actually going to be a reimagined pair. So I believe from the leaks that we had of this sneaker coming back, it was going to be just a one-to-one remake of what dropped back in the day. However, we now know that this is actually going to be part of the Reimagined series, so we could basically expect that there's going to be some changes going on here. Now, these are going to be dropping February 2025. They're going to retail for $210, and at the moment, I don't think we know exactly what's going to be changed about it, but the general consensus is that it's going to have more reflective materials like pipe piping around some of the elements, and then it's also going to have white laces, a little bit more similar to the ones that Michael Jordan actually wore. So in this picture right over here. So if those are kind of like the only changes, I don't think it would be that bad. In fact, I think it could look pretty cool, but if they decide to do a huge change up material wise, I think some people are going to be a little bit disappointed because this is a highly anticipated release. Now, another pair which you may have been looking forward to, the Flu Game 12s, those are not returning. So it's been leaked and rumored for a while now that we're going to be getting Flu Game 12s back next spring. However, turns out we're getting this, a Bloodline Air Jordan 12. Apparently it's been scrapped, so I don't know whether they were like going to do it and then they decided not to, or whether all of these leak accounts were just wrong. All right, let's get into, I guess we could say, Travis Scott news. Right now, there is basically a backdooring epidemic happening. Let's start this story off by just walking us back through some of the times Nike hurt us. This is a post basically putting together all of Nike's backdooring of hyped shoes. The Travis Scott golf raffle, Travis Scott's team only sent invoices to content creators. I was not one of them. Travis Phantom raffle, the raffle didn't go live until midnight. Wins went out at 3 a.m. EST. Travis Scott Fragment highs, no release at all. Super shady release with no transparency, ultimately ended up being fully backdoor. Now, the weird thing about the Travis Scott golf sneaker story was that Travis's team gave pairs to influencers during the raffle and then asked them to post their W's as if they got them for retail. They also supplied thousands of leftover Air Maxes for GOAT's Black Friday events, as they've notably had them in full-size runs and excessive quantities for 2 years in a row. Apparently, the Born and Raised Dunks were also heavily backdoored, which is something that I think we spoke about when those were releasing. I don't really need to tell you much about the Jordan 1 trophy room, but apparently the lows were also, you know, backdoored. Oh yeah, and then of course there was the What the Clots, the Nike SB What the Clot. This one was also backdoored. And that brings us to the sneaker releases that are happening next week. Hate to say it, but the Futuras are also included in this. So we've got a little image here of a reseller with, it looks like at least 20-30 pairs. I don't know if this is the same person. Yeah, same person. So yeah, just a ton of pairs of these things, all before they drop. And then we've got the Travis Scotts, which again, they're part of this as well. I hate to say it. We do have one update on them. They're now dropping May the 25th. So if anybody is wondering like where they're at, because I think the original release date was May the 17th. However, again, the back door is open. Thousands of Travis's pairs already gone. And then on top of this, just to really show how your chances for getting this shoe are very, very low, Travis Scott gifts the Elkins High School with his unreleased Air Jordan 1 low. And that sounds like a great story, right? This is a colorway inspired by Travis Scott's old high school, Elkins High. So apparently 661 seniors and staff were given these shoes. However, straight away right after this happened, tons of Travis Scott's Air Jordan 1s resell after the gifted pairs to the Elkins High School. And you can see a huge list right on that day, just a bunch of pairs went up on StockX and sold. Now, you can't say guaranteed that these are the gifted pairs. However, coincidence? I don't know. So yeah, we're gonna have to see how this release goes, but it's pretty much like we know what to expect now, but I think it's always good to just keep this kind of stuff in mind. It's something that does build up over time, and this is why so many people are mad at Nike and Jordan Brand, and then they end up doing things like buying fake shoes and stuff like that. So it's always hard to see, and you can understand the frustration of many people, but this is something that's been happening for the longest time. It's not really a surprise, but I thought I would let you guys know what's going on. We just got official images of the upcoming Nike Clogposite, which I'm not gonna lie, you might be looking at me like, what the f are you talking about? But I kind of like these things, man, or at least I want to try them out. So obviously this is the Clogposite in the black colorway. They're going to be dropping fall 2024. These are the official images of them. They look futuristic. They kind of look like something Batman would wear when he's chilling out. These things are also looking pretty cool. Like, I'm pretty hyped to try these things out. Again, fall 2024 for both of these, but we do already have official images, so the release must be relatively soon. So as soon as we have a specific release date, I'll let you guys know. And I'd love to know what you guys think of the Clogposite. Would you try these things, or are they just too weird and futuristic? Right, we've got a bunch of Jordan 4 updates. First one is we finally got our first looks at the Air Jordan 4 special edition for the Paris Olympics. These things are looking pretty good. A lot of cool gray vibes in there. So we've got like a speckled gray wing thing on the side, the, you know, the plastic straps. It looks like really nice suede, light gray all over the upper with a darker crackled leather around the toe box. Another really interesting detail is it doesn't have the netting or the mesh on the side. It's just like debossed suede. So you can just see it has all of the grid patterns. I like that, and I also like what they're doing with the tongue over here. That's also like a debossed print instead of an actual tag sewn on. Minor little changes that I think make this a pretty dope pair, which I'm definitely going to be going for, but it is a special edition, so I imagine it's going to be pretty hard to get. But yeah, these are going to be dropping right around the corner, 27th of July, so in time for the Paris Olympics. Let me know your thoughts on these. Would you wear them? We also got a pretty big leak for another pair of 4s. This is the Air Jordan 4 Rare Air Laser, and they're rumored for a early 2025 release. This is a speculative mock-up of what they could look like, with basically like laser engraving all over the entire upper. These are obviously going to be inspired by the 2005 laser pair. However, they added the rare in there, which I don't know if that's a great sign for a pair of 4s. Either way, they're going to be dropping February 2025 for $215. This is based off of the color code, so we could probably expect something a little bit different, but hey, if they look like this, I like them a lot. Now, we also got our first looks, or I guess our first official looks of the upcoming remastered Jordan 4 that they are cooking up. So these are the GR colorways. I think the first one that we saw was the Nigel Sylvester collab pair. These ones give us a much better idea of what they're actually doing with this silhouette. So we've got this light bone colorway. They're going to be dropping this year, fall 2024. And as you can see, they've basically chunked these things up and also chopped them down a little bit. So obviously it's a low cut instead of a mid cut like the Jordan 4s. However, you can see there's a much more puffy ankle area and tongue, and they seem to be a little bit more like skate inspired. But I've got to be honest, the general consensus seems to be pretty split on these things. Like, a lot of people hate the look of these, which, I mean, it is very different, so I can't blame you guys. So I would love to know what you think down in the comment section. But this is not the only one. We've also got this colorway, which is the Crayon Rust. Something I actually forgot, RM is not remastered like I thought. It's actually called Retromod. This is another colorway for fall 2024. Interesting. Very, very interesting, but I wonder what these are actually going to look like on foot. I believe these are all the way down to $150, which might entice some more people. We got some detailed looks of the upcoming Air Jordan 5 white and black. These are going to be dropping December the 7th, and this is them over here. So basically identical to what people mocked up in the beginning. So silver tongue, metallic. You've got the silver shark teeth, or whatever you want to call them, the spikes. It's an okay colorway, nothing too crazy. Pretty simple, pretty clean. I'm pretty happy with the Sale 5s that I just picked up, but yeah, let's keep it moving. Got an exclusive Air Jordan 3 WNBA. Exclusive as in, I think these are actually going to release, whereas the 4s were an actual, like, PE. It's going to be dropping July the 13th. Obviously, it's a WNBA pair of shoes, so I imagine it's like a full-size run, but I don't know. They could be extended in just a woman's exclusive. They look alright. Not bad, just not my favorite. I probably wouldn't pick these things up, but yeah, they're definitely something different at least. We've got a couple really nice colorways of the Spizikes. This is the Anthracite colorway, the Spizike Low, I should say. That is the new kind of thing that they're pushing this year. This one over here, which I'm a huge fan of. The materials look really, really nice as well. You've got that elephant print in very, very dark gray or almost black. This one doesn't have a release date, and we also are getting a kind of like a black cat version or a triple black. These things are, yeah, it's in the name, just all black. Not too bad either. If you were into Spizikes or wanted to try the low version, I think it's a pretty solid pair of shoes, and I would probably go for the Anthracites, although these black towel ones are not bad. Last up for Jordan news, we've got another pair of black and white Jordan 1s. This time, they're throwing patent leather on it, because that really increases the desirability of the pair of 1s. Yeah, there's not too much to this. They're going to drop spring 2025. This is a mock-up of what they could look like. They're going to retail for $180, and like this person in the comments says, the 85s released 1 year ago and are 300 times better. Final story for today. This one is pretty wild, and I think we finally have the answer to what Adidas meant when they said that they were going to be selling Yeezys at cost. Now, the original thing was when we read that they were going to be selling them at cost, we were like, oh yeah, we're getting discounted Yeezys. Yeezys, hallelujah. But then they decided to just release them for full retail price, and we kind of didn't really understand what was going on here. Well, take a look at this. It says that Adidas is trying to privately liquidate over 530,000 pairs for $50 million, and not a cent will go to Ye. So if you take a look over here, this is a listing from Adidas on the Ghost Liquidation website, which is this over here. Apparently they are the world's largest supply for surplus inventory, private B2B platform, making it radically easier to buy and sell coveted goods. But nevertheless, this listing is from Adidas. They've got the Yeezy 350 V2 for a total asking of over $50 million, which is 59% off of the MSRP. So included in the 530,000 pairs that are currently listed, you've got the Yeezy 350 Onyx, the Bone, and the Steel Gray. What people are basically speculating off of this is that these are the pairs that were sitting on the Adidas Confirmed app on the last release when they didn't sell out. Maybe they're taking all of this stock that they know that they can't sell for full retail, and they're trying to shift it off quietly in the background. So if you see the details over here, you can see the units that are listed, 530,000 pairs. Minimum order quantity, 500 units. So I guess you could buy small chunks of the 530,000 pairs that are listed. The average price per unit is $94.44. Now, in regards to what this account said when not a cent will go to Ye, I don't really know what the meaning is behind that. Maybe by doing this, there's some kind of loophole that they, don't have to pay royalties to Ye, whereas if they release them through, the regular Adidas Confirmed app, they still have to pay that 15%. And it seems like this listing is just Yeezy 350, so that does kind of indicate that it's just the pairs that they didn't manage to sell because they didn't sell out. And keep in mind, $50 million worth of Yeezys that they're selling is just a scratch of what they were left with. Like this article, which was written, I believe, February 1st, so not that long ago, they said that Adidas still had about $1.2 billion worth of unsold Yeezy sneakers. It's just to be determined whether it will be for the general public or if they're going to try and, do it through some other secretive means, like this Ghost Liquidation website or some other platform. Yeezys at cost is actually happening. They're selling for 60% off of retail price. So yeah, $95 for a pair of 350s. That is it for this week. Again, we do this every single Sunday, so subscribe to the channel. Make sure that you're always in the loop with the latest sneaker news and whatever's going on in the industry. And if you want to take a look at those Futura dunks before they drop on the Nike Sneakers app, click that video right over there.